blindness in Africa, the present situation, and future prospects. Now, every second Thursday in the month of October is set aside to mark World Sight Day. This year, Global Dialogue followed the celebration seriously. We want to find out what has been the interventions as far as eye care, especially on the continent of Africa, is concerned. We are going to embark on a series of conversations as far as our sight and sight healthcare is concerned in Africa. We are not only looking at Ghana. And so to begin the journey this evening, we've invited into the studio two very intelligent students from the Department of Optometry and Vision Science, University of Cape Coast. I have with me Josephine Afari Wuba. She's a student, and of course, Collins Bio. Gentlemen and lady, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Since today is the first time I'm hosting you here, I have to give you some ponding to get what I mean. But tell me, how is campus like?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I read the bookworms there. We take that as.
Okay, so now you have accepted that those who offer such sciences are the bookworms on campus.
Oh, of course.
I say bookworms, so yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
But
are you enjoying the book?
Yeah.
I see. This program is also live on Ahunka 99.5 FM, also from the Republic of Elmina. We are trending on facebooklive.com/Ocean1TV and also on facebook.com/Ahunka99.5. So you can also forward all your comments, your statement and your questions to us. The number is on your screen in a few minutes. So we're talking about eye care. But before I engage this student, when was the last time you went for an eye check? You are thinking, eh? Where did you access eye care? Is it a case that until something happens to your eye, you have nothing to do with an eye care specialist? These students are going to help us start the discussion. But let me start with you, Collins. How did you choose this course of study, optometry and vision science?
All right. It all came about after completion of SHS.
Okay.
I completed Opokuwari School in the year 2000.
Oh, okay.
2012. So as I completed, I was looking for a program that I would pursue. And then lo and behold, I did a little research and I came across optometry. So I read about it and I developed the interest. Yeah. So then came about that vision to pursue optometry.
I see. But what did you study at the SHS?
Science, general science. Yes, please.
Your electives were?
Biology, e-maths, physics, and then chemistry.
So you just decided to pursue this course of study? Nobody influenced you?
Not really. I really researched about it.
You researched?
I had interest in the health sector.
Okay.
So yes, please.
Why not go into mainstream healthcare delivery, but you opted for optometry?
Okay. Really, I wanted to get a lot of time for my family and then myself after school. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a smart one. Yeah. Any regret so far pursuing this?
Not at all. Not at all.
Why?
The benefit has been so enormous.
Really?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to get back to that very soon. But let me ask you, Josephine, where did you also attend senior high school?
I went to Kobo Girls Senior High School.
Kobo Girls?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your slogan?
Kobo is shining. Oh yeah.
Aye. Samaba. And how come you also selected optometry and vision science?
Maybe let me say it was divine intervention.
Okay.
Because I was actually praying about that. I had medicine, pharmacy, dentistry in mind. Optometry didn't even come. And then I was like, wow, looking at the prospects now, if you want to do medicine in Ghana, demands it's either you get 80s If you don't get, you have strong connection. If that is not working, then you are not going to continue. And then it was level 2 courses for me to get 80s then. And I'm thinking about it, waiting for another year to write an object to pursue such a program was like, nah, I can't waste that time. What if I write an object, I get to write, but the connection also fails me. So that I was going through the health professions, and I saw optometry. I didn't know much about it. So a friend recommended, pursue, and I prayed about it. I just had the feeling to just be. So I picked this program without my parents even being aware.
I see. How did they accept this course of study for you?
I told them that if a child wants to pursue something, my aim was to work in the health sciences, like the health field.
I see.
There was no other. If you tend to impose anything on me, I might not perform well. So, and then I'm a good student, they know me very well. So I told them, you let me make the decision. You wouldn't regret. And I think they also believed in me.
Are you happy about this course of study?
Very happy.
Very happy.
Very happy.
What did you study at the senior high school?
In science, general science.
General science.
Yeah.
So I want to believe that all the students at the optometry department did pursue science at the senior high school.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're all sharks.
Because you'll be going through interview. You go through interview before you become.
Okay.
So most often it's assumed that all the students who are picked are sharks.
Well, I think I'm going to call for a debate very soon on this platform. We'll get a School of Medical Sciences and optometry students. And then we
actually, we are holding the best grades in the school.
Oh, really?
Yes, please.
Yes. Don't be too sure about that.
Well, I'm very confident about that one.
Really?
Yes, please. I'm very confident.
Well, sometimes you can have the best grade, but when it comes to debate, those SMS people today can chill small, so they know what's up. Anyway, that's just by the way. And so you got here to this department of optometry and vision science.
Yes.
Tell me, what is the program about?
All right, optometry is really a healthcare profession, and it's actually one autonomous, it's educated and then regulated. By autonomous, I mean it's independent profession. Yes, we make decisions on our own. We don't depend on other professions to really make any clinical judgments. So it's an independent. We are not paramedics, or we are not allied health professional. No, we are independent bodies on our own. Yeah.
I see. And what is the difference between an optometrist and an ophthalmologist?
An optometrist is a primary healthcare professional, which who provides a comprehensive eye care and visual systems, and also is involved in detecting, identifying any peculiar disease relating to the eye, providing intervention and treatment, and any rehabilitation process. Probably low vision, you have to go through some process to improve upon your vision. And for the ophthalmologist, they are medical doctors. After their 6 years, now they have to specialize. So something now to narrow themselves to the eye field, because the whole body, you can't try to be a specialist for the whole body. So then you have to decide whether I'm going to work on the reproductive system, the digestive system, which system. Then some decide to come to the eye, and those people are called the ophthalmologist. So normally, because they've done a little of surgery, they take all the eye conditions which need surgery interventions before the person can see.
I see. But an optometrist doesn't go close to surgery.
Okay, it depends on the country. Yeah, there are various legislations regulating optometry profession in different areas.
I see.
Yeah, so when you go to US, for instance, there are some states that they are allowed to perform certain surgical procedures.
But here in Ghana, you are
it's
not.
It's
not part of your program.
Yes.
How many years is your program?
6 years.
6 years.
Yes.
I see. And in the end, you receive a degree?
Yes, please. I'm doctor of optometry degree.
Doctor of optometry degree. So this is free consultation for parents who are listening to us, and you would want your children to pursue such programs. I tell you, very soon we're going to have a lot of students coming through Global Dialogue. We have Indom School of Business and Technology students also waiting patiently to come through, so that in selecting a university or a program of study for your wards, you wouldn't be confused. But tonight, the concentration is going to be on optometry. Now, having been admitted to the University of Competitive Choice, as you call it,
Yes.
I know you have expectations. How
Yeah.
satisfied were you presently at the department when it comes to the resources available in terms of the machinery that is deployed in teaching and learning?
Okay, I will say that we have come a long way.
Okay.
Yeah, I came to UCC in 2013.
Okay.
And then till date, I can see a lot of improvements.
2013?
Yeah, 2013, yeah. So I'm in my final year.
I see.
Yeah.
So
there
now
has been a lot of improvements.
a lot of improvement.
Yeah, because at first the head of department wasn't an optometrist. Yeah, she was a mathematician.
I see.
And that really he didn't really understand us since he wasn't a professional herself.
I see.
So now we have a head of department who is an optometrist.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Now let's get into the conversation proper. We just observed the World Sight Day 2018 a couple of days ago. What would you say has been the issue with eye care, especially in Africa? What are some of the issues that we would have to deal with? Let me start with you.
One of the biggest challenges of eye care in Africa has gotten to do with the issue of accessibility.
Accessibility.
Yes, please. Accessibility.
How do you mean?
As in access to quality eye care in terms of qualified professionals, facilities, well equipped and infrastructures. There are nothing of that sort in this. They are not enough.
So you should be worried.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, where are you going to work? In the moon?
They are there, but most of them are, a chunk of them are in the urban centers.
Urban centers.
Yes.
I
So
see.
really those who are in the rural areas don't really get that privilege. They don't have the luxury of really getting access to these facilities. Yeah. Most of these health professionals want to be posted to urban areas when they complete school.
I see. But how is the situation like in developed economies like the US, which has always been the example in terms of accessibility?
It's far developed. You see, the country itself provide easy access to health facilities, and even for health payment bills, it is incorporated into their salary.
Okay.
So unlike Ghana here, unless you have national health, even ours, some it doesn't cover.
It doesn't cover. Okay.
You have to pay. So some of them come and looking at the payment plan, and after you recommend spectacles or any other drug, and they cannot buy it. But out there, it is different. That is making the difference.
Is it the case that in Africa we do not have a lot of challenges as far as eye care is concerned?
We have. The prevalence is so high as compared to them. Looking at
the prevalence of
cataract, glaucoma, some peculiar eye diseases that causes blindness
in the urban centers.
Yes, both urban and rural.
So how come the concentration of these professionals is in the urban centers?
Because that's where the profession is actually booming.
How?
Let's look at the standard of living.
Okay.
In urban areas compared to that of the rural sectors. Those who really who are employed. Those who really have money. They live in the urban sector. They really have the money to access.
So by that, do you mean that eye care is expensive compared to other ailments?
You see, the issue has gotten to do with priority.
Okay.
Many people think once they are not feeling any pain, any discharge or any redness in their eye, everything is okay. They are okay. But then for the other parts of the body, immediately they notice any small change, they want to visit their physician. But that's not the case with the eye, because most of the debilitating eye conditions, they are really painless, and they are asymptomatic. They don't really give off any signs at the initial stages.
Especially glaucoma.
Glaucoma doesn't give you any sign. Well, we'll be spending some time with some of the conditions very soon. But when it comes to training institutions, as far as eye care is concerned, in Ghana, for instance, do we have so many?
No,
You
don't
can
have
speak a bit louder so we can hear you.
We don't have so much. Currently, we have 2 institutions in Ghana. That's Kumasi, K University, and then Cape Coast. They are the schools training such optometrists. And then with the number of optometrists in Ghana, about 400, 500.
Okay.
And look at the huge number of people in Ghana.
But that would have been an improvement, about 400, 500.
It's not enough.
Just look at the population of Ghana. We are about
30 million population.
Yes, yeah.
Still, we need
So the ratio is really something.
I was trying to look at the WHO recommended ratio, but
it was 1 to 50,000. Unfortunately, now it's around 1 to 250,000.
1 to 250,000 in Ghana.
Yes.
But the recommended ratio should be 1 to 50,000. But we are doing 1 to 250.
Imagine.
Okay.
The pressure on.
Do we have any idea how many professionals UCC KNUSD is churning out every year?
Approximately 50.
50, yeah.
Oh, not so much.
Not so much. Yeah. Currently, we are 43 in class.
Yeah, my class we are 32. Yes. And the issue has to do with a lot of people don't really know. It just started about UCC started in 2001. Tech started in 1992. And then it was a post-diploma course. It was later that was made a bachelor, then became a degree, a 6-year OD program. So I think a lot of people are not aware, and some are not able to get to the cut-off point. We take 6, 8. It varies depending on the year, the performance of students in the very year.
I see. Now let's take a look at this. The prevalent eye conditions in Africa. Let me start with you, Josephine. What are some of the conditions that you've identified as far as eye care is concerned in Africa? Cataract.
Glaucoma. Diabetic retinopathy. Age-related macular diseases. And cornea ulcers. Any keratitis. Most often people living in low socioeconomic status, dirty environment, to also pose another
dirty environment.
Yes.
Could result in eye conditions.
Yes, called trachoma.
Dirty environment.
Yes. If you are living in unkept environment.
Like the slums.
Yes. It also poses another risk on the eye.
Okay, what is this thing about cataract? What condition is that?
It's actually a condition that has gotten to do with the lens inside the eye. There's a lens inside the eye.
Okay.
And then when this lens gets opacified, what I mean by opacified is that you see the lens should be transparent so that it can really bend light.
Okay.
So that the light can focus on the retina. The images of objects that you see are formed properly there. But somehow the lens becomes I would say opaque. Yeah, due to so many reasons.
I see.
Yeah, and that really creates a lot of problem. It reduces vision so tremendously.
Can it be corrected?
Yeah, through a surgical procedure.
Only surgery. Apart from that, there is nothing.
Nothing else.
Age is a risk factor.
You see, we've heard some herbal practitioners saying that, oh, when you take this medicine, your eye will be restored. You mean there is no herbal?
No. I've heard severally. Sometimes I wanted to do a research and see what exactly is in their chemicals that makes them believe. And some amazing fact about this is sometimes some people use it and it works.
Some people use it and it works.
That's amazing thing. So I really wanted to find out what chemical is in that their portion. That's when they psychologically, when the people use, they think they are okay.
You think they are playing some kind of psychological
sometimes
game?
I think ignorance has a lot of play here. The issue is most of them really, as some of the drugs, they really have the potential.
Okay.
But enough research hasn't been conducted into them. So the complications that are developed later on are so much.
I see.
Yeah.
So for professionals like you, when you hear such things and there is no research to point to the fact that indeed this thing is potent, how do you feel?
It's really hard trouble. Very, very disappointing.
A client will come to your consulting room complaining bitterly about a condition. Sometimes it's because of whatever they've used before that is even leading to the current new condition. So sometimes you comment that when you actually get into any peculiar eye disease, you shouldn't self-medicate.
I see.
You should quickly come to the specialist for treatment.
So still with the cataract, what causes that?
It could be due to so many reasons, and one of them is a trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma.
Yes, can really cause cataract.
When something happens to your eye,
your lens.
We have traumatic cataracts. We have diabetes causing cataract.
So when you are diabetic, there is a tendency
to get
it's actually a risk factor for developing cataract.
So cataract and glaucoma as well. And glaucoma, it rather causes ocular hypertension. See, diabetes
glaucoma causes ocular hypertension.
Diabetes causes ocular hypertension, but I would rather increase the systemic blood pressure, then which also manifests on the eye. So that will make the IOP, that's intraocular pressure, go high.
I see. This is Ocean One Television. We are also live on Ahomka 99.5 FM. And the program is Global Dialogue. Tonight we are looking at the issue of blindness in Africa. I have in the studio two students from the Department of Optometry and Vision Science, University of Cape Coast. We want to find out what the students are up to. They are actually final year students. And of course, at the appropriate time, we'll be activating the phone line so you can also call and then express your opinion on the subject and the discussion. So far, they've been speaking to us how they got enrolled in this department, the courses of study at the SHS, which earned them this enviable program. I say enviable because not everybody get the opportunity to read this program. They said they are sharks. And of course, we're going to be talking more about some of the prevalent eye conditions in Africa. And so get ready to join us very soon. I'll be taking a break now. When I come back, we would get into other eye conditions and some of the local conditions that leads to the eye problems that we are seeing today. I'll be right back.
The world has become a global village. Happenings in other parts of the world affects Africa directly or indirectly. But how informed are we as Africans living in Africa to understand the seasons and the nuances of globalization? Global Dialogue is a program instituted to bring to your doorsteps phenomena in other parts of the world that affect us positively and negatively on Africa. Join me this and every Sunday between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. as we touch on very critical issues. Global Dialogue, redefining the new Africa.
It's Ocean One Television, and we're also live on Ahomka 99.5 FM. Tonight we are talking about my eye, your eye, our eyes. How serious do we take the treatment or healthcare as far as our eyes are concerned? And I have in the studio two students from the Department of Optometry and Vision Science, UCC, and a person of Josephine Afari Wuba and Collins Bill. We have just begun the conversation. We are hoping that very soon we'd have some of the professionals, those who have been practicing, to join us in the studio to delve deeper into the issue. But we've been talking about some of the conditions. I know in your course of study, you have done some of these things. We touched on cataract, and you were telling me about the conditions that leads to cataract. What are the other conditions we could think of that causes cataract?
Okay, those who normally come into contact with a lot of smoke.
Smoke?
Yes.
My oh my.
Yes.
You know what I'm thinking? What have you been doing to our mothers who have been smoking?
Yes,
fish?
really one of the risk factors for developing cataract. Yeah.
Smoke
Yeah.
could lead to cataract.
Yeah.
Oh, but we all came from the village where you use the muchia, the 3-leg thing, and then you have to get closer, and it comes with a lot of smoke. You
Yeah.
mean that causes cataract?
It's actually a risk factor. Yeah.
How is that possible?
You see, there are certain chemicals within that smoke that can really.
Okay, some of the trees contain some chemicals, so when you burn,
Can really.
okay,
Like the fumes that come out of those firewood, yes, they really have some chemicals that can really
affect
the lens, especially the lens, yes, and cause opacities in those lenses.
But there is no research pointing to this. Is there anything like that?
Yeah, but it's not. They are not really enough.
They are not enough, especially in Ghana.
Yeah.
Then it means we have a lot to do.
Oh yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Yes.
Because you see, when you go to our women, our mothers who smoke fish, they are constantly, in the smoke. And so that is dangerous.
It's very, very, very dangerous.
At least if you could cover
If you can
eyes.
open your mouth, it will be happy.
You could cover your eyes with something too. You see, sometimes when they get closer to this, they start tearing.
Yes.
It's irritating. It doesn't make them feel good. And then when they inhale it too, don't forget we are inhaling oxygen together with the smoke. So definitely when it goes into the system, it combines with the blood, then the blood equally transmits to the eye. And then when it gets to the eye, the lens itself is being supplied with nutrients.
I
So
see.
if these components are in, and then normally when we inhale something or we take in something, it has its targets that it would be comfortable staying. So if it's in the blood lingering around, I realize in the eye, at the lens, that is where I will be comfortable staying. And that is where it starts gathering up.
I see. I know, even as students, you've been seeing some of these conditions. Have you been able to find out the history of some of these people who have cataract, which could be attributable to smoke?
Oh, most often, with the case history, sometimes you find out whether in the family someone has cataract.
Okay.
That's where we could find out whether the person is susceptible to getting the cataract as well. And in Africa in general, because of the exposure to the sun, we have this UV rays. We have 3 types. We have the A penetrating into the lens, and over time, age is a risk factor. So the age being a risk factor is because of the exposure, continuous exposure to the sun. If you walk under the sun, you don't wear any protective lens or wear any hats. The rays enter your eyes directly, and there are some of the sunshades, they are not medicated.
Okay, I will come to the sunshade, but you were telling me the UV rays, we have our 3.
3, UVA,
Okay.
B, and C.
I see.
So
And they are all harmful to the
It's
human
only
eye.
2 that is harmful. The last C is not harmful, and it's the wavelength, the ability of the light to transmit.
Okay.
So the wavelength that enters the eye. So we have the C, which is not able to enter there, but A and B is able to
They
do
are harmful.
that. Yeah.
So you're talking about certain sunshades
Sunshades,
which
yeah.
are not good.
Medicated.
What do you mean?
Meaning that they are not UV protected.
Okay.
So when you wear them, it's rather under dull illumination or dark room, your eyes are dilated. Your pupil, the black thing, the iris, the pupil is dilated. So a lot of light rays enter the eye. When I wear the sunshade, this is the case, I'm walking under the sun, you think you are protecting yourself from the sun. It's rather causing your eyes to be dilated, and then the sun entering your eyes the more.
I see.
So people, it's good to wear sunshades, but we should be careful the kind of sunshades we are wearing.
So it means even within the that industry, there should be some kind of regulation.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you see people too wearing sunshades at night, is that also harmful?
At night, no. At night, there's no sun. Squatting,
There's no
probably
sun.
maybe for fun.
So
But you
like,
might not see.
you're facing this light
No,
here
that
and
one,
then
it's not as compared to the sun.
the sun.
Yes.
So the African sun
I think
also
already we
causes...
said that there was one layer is depleted because of a lot of things you are doing, the smoke, tearing it apart, a lot of activities, we cutting down the trees and a whole lot.
I don't know whether you can answer that. Is that your department? Do you have any device that could detect that this sunshade
Is
is UV protected?
Not one. I've not come across.
okay.
Yes, yes. I've
But
not.
we
But
have
there's
some
really-
little
yes, some-
knowledge. When you get it, you could identify this UV protected. or not.
By observing.
Optics, light
Optics,
of yeah. We use transmission of light rays. How
So you can really tell whether
yes.
it's UV coated or
or
not.
not.
I see. So the ordinary man, how do I know this thing?
That's the issue.
That's the issue.
That's the issue. Yeah. That's the issue.
So information is expensive.
Oh
huh?
yes.
Yeah.
Very
I see.
expensive.
Now, let's get to glaucoma because it's also one of the eye conditions that is quite popular in Africa.
Very popular.
What causes that? What is the condition itself, glaucoma?
It's a potentially blinding and visually impairing condition of the eye.
Okay.
And then we say it's an optic neuropathy.
Optic neuropathy.
Yeah, you see, let me break things down.
Okay,
You
break
see,
it down.
Vision as it is,
Mhm.
it's not only a function of your eye.
Okay.
No, your brain plays an integral part
The
in
brain.
vision. Yes, also plays an integral part in vision. So for you to be able to see something as black, white, or maybe red,
Mm-hmm.
there has to be a lot of information being sent to your brain for it to be interpreted.
Okay.
So there's actually, in a layman's term, there's a cord that connects your eye to your brain.
I see.
It's called the optic nerve.
I see.
Yes. And so what happens in glaucoma is that that optic nerve or that cable is made up of about millions of fibers. Yeah. It gets weaker and weaker. So glaucoma
As
is,
you age.
as you get that condition,
Okay.
the cord gets weaker and then weaker each day. So if it's not detected earlier and then managed, that's when it can actually lead to blindness. But then the sad thing is that it's a silent thief of sight.
Silent
Thief of sight.
Of sight.
Because
Okay.
normally you don't experience symptoms at the earlier stages.
I see.
So as it progresses to the later stage, that's when you begin to experience those symptoms.
So it can be detected at the onset
yes,
Through screening.
through
through
screening.
screening.
Yeah.
Do we have the kind of technology?
Oh,
to do that
yes.
kind of
Yeah,
screening?
we have
Yes. Yes.
And if you detect it, what can be done? Surgery?
Yeah,
Some-
yes,
it's not
some
all
of
the
them,
cases.
but then we recommend. It's not all of them that we put through surgery. No.
Okay.
Yes,
Some they
What
know
are the
medication.
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 For life.
for
Yes.
life.
That's it's like hypertensive drugs.
Okay.
When your blood pressure is up, we just manage it. So it's the same as that of the eye. We give you ocular hypotensive drugs, which then makes the pressure be stabilized.
I see.
So it
So
prevents-
glaucoma also has to do with pressure on the eyes.
Now, actually, the pressure or the intraocular pressure
That's right.
is a risk factor.
Okay.
It doesn't mean it's the cause.
Of course.
But it's a risk.
It's a risk factor.
There are a
It
lot of
contributes,
risk
like
factors.
it increases your chances of getting
Getting-
Okay.
glaucoma.
What are some of the other risk factors?
Being having this refractive myopia, being myopic,
Okay.
you short-sighted. You can't really see things afar. Some yes is very bad, unless the person gets closer to you before could see you very clear.
Mm.
And this one is in relation to we have in the light rays entering the eye. It's actually have to form on the retina, but this is the case. It is forming in front of the retina, and we have something called the axial length. The axial length is an illusioned line that length from the cornea to the retina. That we think that this part, light rays, it helps the eyeball, it lengthens it and it makes light rays focus on the retina. But this is the case, the rays are focusing at in front of the retina, and over time, the posterior pole, the retina, where the image is falling, and the back of the eye, they don't tally.
Okay.
And at a
Okay.
point too, it's like you are pulling something, you are making something overwork itself. it's not getting the proper stimulation, because I know everyone should focus the rays on the retina, but this is the case, it is focusing on the in front of the retina, so it makes it a risk factor, and the pressure as it's pulling, the pressure is also.
I see. Now you are taking me into your lecture halls. I wish for war, and now I have it. This is exciting. Glaucoma. Do we know the prevalence of glaucoma, say in Ghana?
Oh, well, you don't actually have.
If you compare glaucoma to cataract.
Okay.
For this World Sight Day celebration, that was on 11th of October, there was a conference, a program being held in Accra, by one of the ophthalmologists suggesting that cataract is rather the leading cause.
Cataract, yeah.
Then it was glaucoma, but now this year, research suggests that there was a study conducted by Ghana Health Service from 2015 to 2017, suggesting that now the prevalence of cataract is about 0.7% of the Ghanaian population.
Okay.
That is about 206,000 Ghanaian members.
206,000.
206,200.
Okay.
That is the relation of the population of Ghana.
Okay. That have a glaucoma.
Cataract.
Cataract.
Which is the leading cause.
Okay.
But glaucoma, they didn't give the stat. So it's they made that the focus narrowed onto cataract.
I see. Some time back we saw in the news some communities in Ghana where this oncofly, they call it onchocerciasis or whatever, leading to blindness and all those things. You see people with itchy legs, dark spots all around their legs, and we are told that also leads to blindness. In fact, they even call it what is that? Have you come across something like that?
I think it's onchocerciasis.
Onchocerciasis, okay.
Yeah.
Has it got anything to do with this?
But I think there has been a lot of efforts by the government to really eradicate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spraying some.
So it's not actually an issue now.
It's not an issue now.
It's not an issue now. Yeah.
But some of those flies are still in some communities, though.
Oh yeah, I think the northern part of Ghana really is noted for those. Yeah, that condition.
Now I'll take you to your community down south to show you where they are. And the water we drink, how does this also contribute to eye problems?
Water we drink.
As in the acidic content of water, does it have any relationship with eye conditions?
Okay, for what I know is that the eye really has a pH. Yeah.
The eye too has a pH.
Yes.
Okay, so we are in trouble in Ghana.
the eye.
Yeah, we are in trouble because I saw a study, and they were trying to identify some of the chemicals which are not healthy, especially that's in the sachet water, the bottle
water.
They were able to pick up some chemicals which, when we take in over time, it is actually also causing other carcinogenic effects that we don't know.
In fact, recently they did a test. One of these days, I would have to do it. Some of the so-called bottled water. We think those of us who belong to the upper class.
Yeah, we have to take the bottled water.
And I was amazed at the pH level. The acidity level in some of this bottled, and even as for the pipe water, don't go there. Kaya Jemekra. It's serious. All right. So, apart from glaucoma, cataract, you were mentioning some other categories of diabetic what? Retinopathy, retina.
Yeah.
Pathy means disease. So retinal disease.
All right, so let's say, what is that?
That one, when there's increase in the sugar level.
Increase in the sugar level. As in diabetic.
Diabetic.
Okay.
It's also manifest on the eye. And then this one, under normal circumstance, the blood should contain a particular pH.
Okay.
This sugar actually increases that pH. makes it acidic.
Okay.
So when it gets to the eye, instead of it being able to flow like that, it becomes how do I call this one? It swells up. It's like something when you have water and salt. You see that the water will move from where the salt solution, the content is low. The water will move from the low salt concentration to where the high salt concentration to dilute it. So with this, you see that some of the vessels will swell up. With time, it bursts. And when it bursts, is the blood that is spilling on the retina.
I see.
So when it spills on the retina like that, actually, it's going to affect some of the things that makes us see. It will cover some of the nerves and also the macula. That is the keenest portion that we see clearly. So if it's able to get there as well, and then because the blood is now spilling out, it's not able to go through its targets to nourish the cells. So over time, due to the nucleotides, they die. They become pale. So then your vision tends to be reducing.
I see.
So when you have diabetes, we are eager to check whether the condition hasn't gotten to the eye, so that you'll be safe. If you then we can manage it there. But if it had gotten there, sometimes it takes a lot of intervention.
I see. So if somebody is diabetic, there is the need to check the eye condition as well. But before we continue with this, I want to find out, I understand there are different kinds of eyes, especially when it comes to the color.
Oh, yeah.
Can you look at somebody's eye and tell whether the person is having an eye problem with your physical eye?
Oh, no.
It will become really difficult. But then there's a condition that we call vernal keratoconjunctivitis. It's really the eye's response to allergy.
Okay.
Yeah. So normally those people they really get a brownish coloration of the white part of the eye. So when I look at that, I can really tell that. But then it does not necessarily mean that anybody who's having a brownish eye is having that condition. Yeah.
Now, you know, I was asking about the color of the eye because when you go to certain countries, their eye color is different from ours. And so if that person trains over there and comes to Africa, where the coloration of our eyes is different, how would they be able to deal with our challenges?
Yeah, there's something that we call
vice versa.
The iris.
Okay.
The iris, yeah. And it really differs from race to race.
Okay.
So, but Africans, ours normally like
brown.
Yeah.
Very pigmented.
Yeah.
But theirs is not much pigmented.
Much pigmented.
So we have this age-related macular disease that is highly prevalent because they don't have a lot of pigments that would see the amount of light entering the eyes, unlike ours that is very thick. That could at least.
I see. That is why when you see most of these guys come down here, they want to go with sunshades.
Yes.
I see. Because it could really affect them.
And actually, one of the benefits of cataract is that it really stores, it really prevents this age-related macular degeneration.
It wouldn't make the light
get to the retina.
Wow. Yeah. So cataract has that advantage.
That's why the prevalence in Ghana is not much as compared to those outside.
So in some of those developed countries, the prevalence of cataract,
the age-related macular
degeneration,
that is the highest.
Yeah.
And smoking is a risk factor.
Because once the macula, there's a portion of the eye that we call the retina that we call the macula. Your eye actually has a screen.
Okay.
Where images fall. Yes, and that at that portion there's a region that we call the macula, and that's the center of keenest vision. Yes. So normally, if constantly that portion is being exposed to sunlight, then it is going to really lead to the development of that.
So those who develop the camera, like the one we're using here, and the kind of television sets that are coming into the system relied on what God has done.
Oh yeah.
It's
really study the optics of
everything.
It really
so God in His wisdom did all these things?
He engineered everything.
Like the bed, they look at how the bed moves, and then they did the aeroplane.
I
So
see.
these people, they are very smart.
I see. This is Ocean One Television, and we're also live on Ahunka 99.5 FM. The program is Global Dialogue. We come your way every Sunday between 7 to 9 p.m. And tonight we are talking about our side. When was the last time you went for an eye check? I have some cameramen here in the studio. When we finish, you'll be assessing them, because every time they choose their eyes and look into the camera, I don't know whether that could have an effect on them when they attain 60 years. And then I have in the studio two wonderful gentlemen from the Department of Optometry and Vision Science, UCC, and the person of Josephine Afarewuba and Collins Bill. We're talking about blindness in Africa, and very soon we'll be getting to the advocacy issues. But tell me, in Ghana, we have a lot of challenge when it comes to we are told that even in the basic schools, some teachers cane children who are unable to read properly, and the excuse is that these children might be suffering from some form of eye condition.
Let me
that the
touch on.
teachers are not aware.
Yes, there's something that we call a refractive error. A refractive error.
Mention it well so that the teachers can hear.
Refractive error.
Okay.
Yeah, and that, you see, your eye, before your eye sees, it bends rays of light.
Okay.
And then it falls on the retina, so that the impulses are being sent to the brain to be interpreted. But then whenever there is any obstruction in this path, it can lead to that condition. Now we have the optical structures of the eye. The lens is one of them, the cornea, and then even the tear film. It contributes some way, somehow,
The bending of the
to
light.
the bending of light. But in this refractive error, you see, the light that enters your eye should fall at a point on the retina that I was talking about.
Okay.
But in case of that error, the light falls either in front or behind.
I see.
The
That's
retina.
what she was saying.
Most
Okay.
often
Yeah,
the error
yeah.
is there. You see, it is like
Yeah.
a sphere. So the curvature, how curved it is. If it's not curved enough, bending light rays, those who've done physics, some bit of, you see that when the surface is not curved enough, the bending of light rays will be different.
I see. I think subsequently we'll get some of those pictures so that those watching us on television could really get the picture very well. But that has been the case over the period that we beat these children. Sometimes you see, if you is going to school, but is a simple word like is, the child could miss it, and they kill them, they knock their heads. They did it to most of us.
And one of the errors is called a myopia. You normally
You know, it's continue.
Okay. Go ahead. Myopia.
you normally call it nearsightedness.
Okay, nearsightedness.
Sightedness. Short-sightedness.
Okay.
Yeah.
What-
So with that
what is
condition,
that?
if anybody having that condition with objects that are very close, the person will be able to appreciate it very well.
But at far.
But then at far there will be an issue.
Because the image is falling. You see
in
the
front,
yellow
yeah.
thing, the retina.
Okay.
It is falling in front of the retina.
Retina.
But it should fall on the yellow thing. That's the retina.
Yeah.
But this is the case, that image will fall in front. As I said earlier, there's this illusioned length, easier length, though it's not showed here. And that one will form. With the long-sightedness, that's another condition.
Okay.
The image is going to form at the back of the retina.
Okay.
Hence, when a person is looking at something close, it's blurry. Sometimes the person has to strain. So will come complaining of headache, tearing, can't concentrate, looks focused. Because the person is straining the eye to see at the blurry thing. And then, normally when you are looking at something near, the lens has this principle. It uses this principle, accommodation. It bulges forward. So I told you, when something bulges forward with our optics, it makes it clearer. The curvature, radius of the curvature reduces. So then you are going to see things very clearly. But this is the case when it happens like that. It's not when your eyes there for the hyperopia. When the eyes is going to bulge, it bulges rather for the distance. So the person is going to see at distance, but at near the
person
yes,
find it difficult to see.
That is negative accommodation. So the person then would be struggling to see that near.
I see. As an optometry student, would you advocate that before we get children to go to school, at least they are taken through some of these tests to see the conditions of their eyes so as to aid learning?
Oh yeah, I would highly recommend that their eyes are screened, because some of these conditions, unless I screen them, unless their eyes are screened, I'll not be able to tell whether they have it or they don't have it.
But do we have that technology available to be able to do this screening, looking at the number of children that are engaged in the various basic schools, and not to even talk about the senior high schools?
Yeah, it's really possible. It's a matter of the Ghana Education Service liaising with Ghana Health Service, so that we put forth such a program to really get them screened. Yeah.
Now, as students at your level, I know you've been engaged in some kind of outreach as far as eye care is concerned. Tell me some of the findings, some of the observations you've made in some of those outreach.
A lot of things.
When was the last one you did one?
The last one was during the vacation.
During the vacation? Which community?
It was the Barbezi or so.
Okay. And what were some of the prevalent conditions you came across?
Most often the refractive error, and then the glaucoma too. It's genetically inherited. So if someone has it in the family, it's possible as young as you are, we are growing, you can get it. And then
as in the glaucoma?
Yes.
It's hereditary.
Yes. So anyone in your family who has been blind as a result of glaucoma, you are at a risk
of getting it. I see. Now, how often do I have to go for an eye screening?
At least 2 times in a year. At least
2 times in a year. I see. Very soon we'll be taking another break, but when I come back, what we'll be doing this time around is that I'm going to be taking their thoughts on how they think they can contribute to eye care in Africa, not only Ghana. Because as we speak, I'm tempted to believe that up north we have a lot of these conditions. Then, of course, in some other African countries, you see blindness, at a high rate. I don't know what factors are responsible for that, if you ever know. But then, at the senior high school, for instance, let's say from the basic school, you see some children, young, wearing lenses, big ones.
Yeah.
And then with time, you see their eyeballs as if it is bulging out. Have you ever observed that?
Yeah, I've observed that.
Is that healthy for young chaps to be using lenses?
Sometimes it is healthy because we have this principle, emmetropization. And then this emmetropization is a process when the eyes developed to attain to the adult-like eye. And it from infancy, that's when you are born to 8 years. Within that range, if there's any obstruction to the visual pathway and it is corrected or seen earlier, you are safe. So it's been refractive, it's been any other thing. So if the child is young and you saw the person wearing such, it is to aid the brain, not to shut the eye that is not working well.
I see.
So then the eye will perceive that, okay, then you are also working. Or else we have this term called amblyopia. That is the lazy eye. If the person just decided not to give attention to it and then sees as it is like that, the brain naturally will say that you are not working. Go away, let me focus on this one.
I see.
That is how the brain
works.
So
it's very important.
It's very important.
So some of these chaps can start using it at a younger age. And with time.
At times it declines. Some others too, we have different types, progressive, whether temporal or permanent.
I see.
At times.
Look there, that girl there, is she going to be able to take it? All right. Now, with this condition we're talking about, I know parents are listening to us. And sometimes they find it difficult to take their children for eye care. as compared to other ailments.
Yeah.
What would you suggest to them? What advice would you give such parents?
I think they need to change their mentality.
About eye health.
Now, a painless eye does not signify a healthy eye.
A painless eye
Does not
doesn't
signify a healthy eye. Yes, because there might be a whole lot going on back there. Yeah, and until I pick an instrument and then screen, I will not be able to tell whether your ward is having one or not. So I highly recommend that they change their attitude towards eye care.
I see.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the basic tests one has to go through to ensure that I have total eye health care? Like when I walk into a facility meant for eye care, what are some of the things you take me through?
One of them is called a visual acuity test. Visual acuity test.
That's when you mentioned you read the letters out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what actually that test does is that it determines how best you can see at near and then far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's how they put those alphabets on the
Yeah.
wall.
They tell you to.
So we have a distant chart.
Okay.
Yeah. And the commonest of them is called the Snelling chart.
Okay.
And then we have the near one too.
They don't explain it to us when we go there.
Yeah.
I went and the man will bring the thing, and then you take it a bit further and take it. They got to a point I can't see the thing. I couldn't see the thing again, but they didn't explain
Actually,
it to me.
the whole procedure has to be explained to you.
Okay.
Yeah. And your permission has to be sought
I
before
see.
any procedure is carried out on you.
I see.
Yeah.
So on the screen, that
It's
is
your
the
right.
chart.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is the chart you've been reading.
That's the chart
So
on the
this one,
screen.
it should have fallen on the retina.
The retina.
But this is the case, you can see it falling
Falling
in front.
Oh,
See the
okay.
rays of light
Uh-huh.
when it passes through the cornea, the lens, where it is falling. But it should have fallen on the yellow. That's the retina.
I see. Is there any reason why they use some of these alphabets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there any reason?
Yeah. Each of them has been carefully calculated.
Calibrated
Yes.
with
I see.
with physics, some
Yes.
formulas.
So your inability to identify these figures, how do you call it, alphabet at a certain distance,
Can really tell the state of your vision.
Vision, yes.
you just conclude like that.
But then we have to do a series of
other,
other
yes.
tests. Yes.
Okay. Besides this, what are some of the other things you take somebody through? Someone who comes for
Okay.
screening.
We also do slit lamp biomicroscopy.
Is it for
Biomicroscopy.
screening
Or screening or
For
just
screening.
screening.
just
Oh,
I
normally.
want to know the condition of my eyes.
Oh, okay.
for just screening?
Then I
we
walk
test-
in there.
Okay, we
Just
do this
screening.
one.
Okay.
Then
Yeah.
we'll do ophthalmoscopy. That one, the instrument itself is called ophthalmoscope. And then it helps us see the retina, the picture that we showed earlier.
Okay.
We're able to see the retina, look at the blood vessels as it is displayed there.
I see.
Try to scroll around the color, and even where the portion where the blood vessels is coming from.
Uh-huh.
Whether the blood vessels displayed is in the normal
State.
presentation, because sometimes the vessels can be touched. It's not in the normal pattern.
I
Call it
see.
tessellated. It wouldn't be in a normal pattern. So looking at that alone gives us a lot of idea what is going on in your eye. That is just for the screening. Before then, when you come, you go through a series of tests that one will take about sometimes an hour before
But
we are
at your department, do you take people through this kind of screening?
Yeah.
That anybody can walk in, pay for it, and then be asked?
Oh yeah.
You can actually come there for a screening.
I
Yes.
see.
Yeah. And we take you through all these procedures.
So students are benefiting. The university health
Community.
service
Okay.
has actually liaised with the school itself. So every level 100 students, any fresher, you are being allowed to go through this medical screening, and I happens to be part of it. And some will be like, I mean, I never knew I had an eye problem till I came here. That's amazing. Some even don't see well. They think that the way they see is the natural way of seeing. But then after going to test, prescribing spectacles, sometimes contact lens, realizing, wow, things are very beautiful. That's why they appreciate nature more. Very well. So I think it's good to at least get your eye screened.
I see. That is beautiful. So that man will be coming next week. He's been looking into the camera all his life.
We're looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
We want to see if everything is fine. When he's coming, he will come with the camera.
He will develop a condition, myopia, because when you keep staring, you see, those who like reading a lot. A lot of our professors, they are wearing spectacles. It's nothing, because you are doing near work consistently. You are using the eyes to, unlike before, our grandfathers used not to get such condition because yes, was farming, hunting. It was a far distance, and when you are looking at far, your eyes are relaxed.
I see.
But when the moment I look at near, I told you the lens will clear any blur. It rather bulges.
I see.
Let
me ask you with this one too. I'm told that if you get too close to, say, a television set like this one, or you use a computer for a longer period, or you kept staring at your phone, there are some rays that hit the eyes, and that could be very dangerous. How is that?
Now, even before I come to that your question, touching on issues relating to seeing at near, there's a condition that we call presbyopia.
Okay.
And it's an age. It's an age-related condition. Okay. And what actually happens is that there are muscles connecting your lens.
Okay.
And those muscles really have contractile, and then they really contract when you want to see things at near.
Okay.
So as you age, that muscle is being overused.
I see.
Yeah, and it will get to a time that it will not be able to contract and relax as you expect, and that is when people really get to experience those vision problems at near. So there are some people who really are aged. They're about 40, 50 years there, but they don't have any problem seeing at near.
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually because they're having what is called myopia.
What I said earlier.
Yeah. So for those people, although their muscles have contracted to a certain level beyond its elastic limits, but then they are still able to see at near because of that condition that we call myopia.
I see.
Because for them, the rays of light falls in front of the retina, so they are really able to perceive things which are near to them.
Near to them.
I see.
But then they will tell you, oh, for me, I'm about 60, 70 years, but I don't have any problem seeing things at near. Yeah, but they really have an error that they don't know that they have. And now to your question, sitting close to the television, being exposed to the rays, one of the things you are likely to develop, is called a dry eye syndrome or computer vision syndrome.
Dry eye syndrome.
Yeah.
What is
normally your tear film, you produce tears, and those tear films are in layers. Yeah. So we have the aqueous layer, we have the mucous layer, and we have the lipid layer. Yeah, on all these layers play a significant role to make sure that the tear film is stable on your eyes.
I see.
Yes, but as you are being exposed to this rays of light, it comes to a time that your lipid layer becomes deficient, so the tear film is not able to stay on your eye for that long. It becomes unstable.
I see.
So by the time your eye becomes dry, so there's some people like when they sit in fan, you see that they will tell you, oh doc, my eyes are feeling so dry. It's because they are having an unstable tear film.
I see.
Yeah.
There is a question here. The person wants to know that some time back we got to know of this eye condition, Apollo. It comes every once a year. What accounts for that? Why don't we see that quite often these days?
You see, Apollo we call it a self-limiting condition.
Self-limiting condition.
It has that capacity to resolve on its own without any intervention.
Oh, really?
Yes.
There is no medicine to...
There's really a medication, but then it has that potential to really resolve on its own without applying any...
For me, it's named acute hemorrhagic
conjunctivitis.
So it's acute meaning short.
Short.
Okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't... And hemorrhagic is when blood vessels, internal bleeding. So you see their eyes red because hemorrhage means internal bleeding, blood from the blood vessels.
Okay.
So from the name short, internal bleeding, and then conjunctivitis, inflammation of the conjunctiva.
confused here.
Breaking it down.
So, how have we been able to establish where this Apollo thing
it's actually
came from?
A viral infection,
and it will just come once every year, just like that.
And I think it was first discovered in Ghana.
It was first discovered in Ghana.
Yeah, that's what I read about. Yeah, it discovered in Ghana.
And out of nowhere, we don't.
It's a viral infection.
Moving around,
and we've not been able to stop it.
Yeah, normally with the treatment we aim at preventing infection.
Okay. Is there any kind of immunization? Because you see, I fear for some of the schools. Our kids go to school.
Yeah.
They go to school and one person brings Apollo to school and it affects all the kids in the school. Is it the case that we cannot do any immunization that will stop this thing from, spreading? There is nothing like that yet.
As of now, I've not come across anything.
But I think it's a nice
thing that we can really take it on.
You will make a lot of money if you're able to discover that.
Because people will be very happy
yes,
that
of
they'll
course.
be free from Apollo. It will be a nice.
Anyway, there is another question here. The person says, is it advisable to use contact lens in our parts of the world, that's here in Ghana, because of the constant dust contact and everything? So, how can you advise?
You can, but this one will need intensive discipline.
Intensive discipline. How?
Meaning, you see, you are concurrently exposed to dust and then the sun. So this dust will always be depositing debris on the eye, and then at the time, if you are not sticking to the regimen given, if it is there, we have different types of contact lens. We have daily. We have extensive wear. That one you can wear it weekly. Daily one, either you dispose or you change it. As in, you take it, you cleanse your eye, then you like how you brush your teeth.
I see.
You do it. If you are not able to stick to this, then I wouldn't advise you to go for it, because if you are not careful, it might lead to blindness too.
Okay. Let me add this.
Okay.
Actually, keeping a personal hygiene is one of the requirements for fitting contact lens. Making you the right candidate for fitting contact lens.
I see.
Yes.
I see.
Because if you don't really have you are not able to keep that personal hygiene, you are going to really harbor a lot of infections. Yeah, and it's going to cause a lot of complications.
I see.
Yeah.
There is another question here. I'm happy that this one is the eyebrow.
Yes.
Does it have any relationship with the eye?
Yes.
Because some of the women shave it off. Does it have any relationship? Think of that. And then there is another one here that is trying to find out ladies who put on this artificial eyelashes and then the
mascara.
They put something on the eye to change their eyeballs.
That one, sometimes cosmetic contact lens.
How does it affect the eye? Does it have any impact on the eye, especially with the eyelashes which the person wants to find out?
The eyelashes like this, the glue, sometimes I would say it wouldn't be wrong doing it, but one, the glue being used to stick into the natural one, and then others to even plug some and then fix it there. I don't know how they do it. It has an impact, because this glue or whatever is used to make it stick, with time it just breaks off and then gets to the eye. And then if your eyes too are, let me say, dry, now part of the world, dry is very common. With time you realize that the eyes start to be irritating. You complain of foreign body sensation, something on the eye, the eyes feeling gritty, redness. So that would be one cause.
I see.
So I personally wouldn't advise, if you even do it, ensure that very day you take it off, but don't sleep with it.
I see. Any comment to that?
Yeah, about that makeups or the mascara. Those are chemicals, and they can really get into your eyes and do you a lot of harm. Yes.
But interestingly, in Africa, we don't have a lot of research on some of these things. And I believe that I want to challenge you people that come up with some of these things. So
that's in any eye-related condition that when you would apply these.
Yes, those makeup and all those stuff on our faces.
It would be a nice research too.
Yeah, because for now the ladies are getting us crazy. But I have a personal question for both of you, and then after which we'll be opening the phone line. Where do you come from?
Okay, well, I'm from Adansia to Biase.
Good.
Adansia South District.
Good. So I want to assume that you have some experience in cocoa farming.
Oh, not really.
Probably your parents. Now, I know after graduation,
yes,
you guys will be in the city.
Oh yeah.
Why is it like that? That your parents spend so much money to educate you, you finish, and then all of you will be in the city and said, oh, Daddy, come to the city for eye care. Why?
As I said earlier,
why is that
the eye care, the eye care really booms in the city. Yeah.
Because it's expensive. Has it got to do with the equipment that you deploy in your operations?
Yeah.
Is that the reason?
Yeah,
Yeah, they are very, very expensive, and it's a specialist care.
When I get there and then you two, they can't afford to pay. It also wouldn't motivate me to also work harder.
I see.
And I think one of the issues about going to urban areas, like one of the advantages of going that it really keeps you in check. As you don't feel complacent.
I see.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people who really challenge you.
But you see, the fact of the matter is, how do we get these services available for the rural folks who are, working, producing all the food stuff that you and I are enjoying in the city? How do we do this?
There is an NGO, I think, Vision 2020, and it's a United Nations NGO that is trying to help reduce the rate of blindness by eradicating poverty.
Okay.
But we are not going to eradicate poverty. We are trying to make eye care accessibility very easy for them. So at times you go in and you just give out interventions without expecting to get money or anything.
I see.
So we have other NGOs which are helping to actually eradicate such. It's still ongoing, but it will take some time.
So with your department, should a philanthropist come around and say, oh, I want you guys to go with me to this particular community and screen them? Is that possible? You've been doing that?
Vision 8 overseas from Australia.
Okay.
About 3 weeks ago, they came around. And they've been going almost every 2 times in a year. They come with spectacles, contact lens, a whole lot of interventions to help.
Is it not shameful that it has to take somebody to come from the US to come and provide these services for us?
Well, it's shameful. Our own kind, the government, they are trying to.
It's like government doesn't really pump money into eye care.
Eye care. Unlike
other most of them are using lenses. That means they've been through the system. Why is it that it is difficult for policymakers and, for that matter, government to prioritize healthcare? Why do you think that is so difficult?
I think they don't. I don't know why, but they don't really see the need to. Really,
eye care is not kind of emergency condition in quotes that would lead to death or something.
Okay, you can be blind and still be alive.
Alive and be productive in a way.
Productive.
So then the attention wouldn't be there. It would rather be narrowed to the medical aspect, because that one, when it happens like that, the ultimate is death.
Probably people like you two are not speaking enough.
Are you sure? Because I can see our lecturers are working a lot. And then even another aspect is the change of government. Last year I heard they were trying to channel a lot of issues. All of us, and when it was changed, they had to start all over again. Because there was a change of board members and a whole lot.
Okay.
So,
now, what do you think health professionals like you can do so we can bring about a change as far as eye care in Africa is concerned? Let me start with you.
What we can do?
Yes.
I think
collectively,
the screening is one.
Mm.
We shouldn't wait for the government to actually bring a proposal that do this, do that. And ourselves, I think we should get the support. For the screening, we've been doing it. It's part of our curriculum.
Okay.
So screening is one of the major things we've been doing, that we don't actually think about what is going on, the funds available. But we always try to go further to identify, help people around. And to that extent, sometimes some of the doctors just give out medications and then interventions free, because at times that someone will come will be complaining bitter. You know the current situation is that bad.
Mm-hmm.
So what you have to do is just to help. I think that's what we are doing now. But we would need the government support to come in.
Collins,
I think that the government has to train more eye care professionals, because as it stands now, we have only about 400 optometrists in Ghana, considering a nation with a population of close to 29.65 million. How can we be having like 400 optometrists in the country? It's woefully inadequate. So I think it's about time the government reconsidered his decision about providing quality eye care in the country. There should be training of more eye care professionals in the country. Yes.
Do we have nurses who specialize in this area?
Ophthalmic nurses.
Ophthalmic nurses.
Yeah.
And they where do they train?
They train in Ghana.
The normal nursing training institutions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. And well, maybe subsequently we'll be finding out whether they have the facility readily available to provide a kind of training, so that if that ophthalmic nurse goes to the US, she can still practice as an ophthalmic nurse and not go and start from level 1 all the way through level 300 before getting into but let's see if some of our viewers or listeners would like to ask any question.
I wanted to say that since of late, majority of our activities is either looking at the laptop, looking at the television, or looking at our phone. At least at every 20 minutes, you take a 20-second break.
I see.
And you look at something far away, 20 feet. So this 20. At every 20 minutes, whether you're looking at your phone or machine, tablet,
you stop and look far.
20 seconds, anything far, 20 feet. So that is at far.
So say 20.
So every 20 minutes, you look at something for 20 seconds at 20 feet.
Wow, what a formula. This one is a book long, so I'm going to do with that. Now, well, let me announce the phone line. The phone line is this evening 0543 291 074 0543 291 074. I have with me here in the studio Josephine Afarewuba and Collins Bio from the Department of Optometry and Vision Science, University of Cape Coast. We are talking about eye care in Africa, and I've been amazed by some of the things they are churning out this evening. Even as students, they are not yet out, and so we want to see how they are thinking and how prepared they are for the job market. I'll be coming there before we close, but you can call in if you have any question. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Your name and where you calling from?
I'm calling from Cape Coast.
Okay. Kasim.
Yeah.
Let's hear you.
I want to ask you about something. When I keep chilled water, I normally show pain in my right eye, so I don't understand.
In your right eye.
To speak. I'm to see a doctor. Or
okay, is this the Kasim I know?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Kasim. When it takes a chilled water, I shows pain in one of the eyes. So think about that. We have to answer this question today before we leave. 0543 291-074 0543-291-074. If you have any question, any comment, maybe you are an organization, you want to work with these young men in order to bring healthcare delivery to your people, you want to call and then talk to them. 0543-291-074. But is that a condition? Is it related?
We were trying to think about it. Normally,
okay. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Your name and where you calling from?
I'm Rashid, speaking from Cape Coast.
Rashid, DNT.
I went to the eye clinic somewhere last year. And then I was given some tests to run, one of the laboratories in Cape Coast. After that, I was told that I am like a suspect of glaucoma.
Okay.
And that every year I should do that same test and report to the hospital.
I see.
And then, I don't know, if growing up, all my grandmothers that I've seen have had eye problem of a sort, like they went blind to some extent. Is it basically because of that or something? And it's not just me alone, almost everybody in the family has a similar problem. So what could be done about it?
Anyway, Rashid, thank you very much for sharing this experience with us. I think we're going to learn a lot from this. That is also a peculiar case you've been talking about all along. So, hereditary.
Yeah, it's genetically inclined. That if you have any grandfather, any ancestor who has been blind before, you are highly at risk.
Okay. Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Please, I'm Tina calling, please.
Tina from UCC. Hello, let's hear you, Tina. Oh, Tina, I really want to hear you. Can you position yourself very well? Your phone. Hello, Tina. Okay, Tina, you can please call again. The number is 0548-291-074. It looks as if I need to go for some screening myself because I can't really read well. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello. Okay, he couldn't stay. 0548-291-074. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Please.
Yeah, your name and where you calling from?
Please, can my choose on contact that one?
Okay, let's hear you. Lower the when you call, lower the volume on your TV set. Don't listen to yourself on the TV set. Listen to us through the telephone so we can hear you. So my brother, you can call again. The number is 0548-291-074. 0543-291-074. 0543-291-074. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, is that Tina?
Yes.
Tina, you're calling from where?
Yes,
Sunkwa. Let's hear you, Tina.
Yeah, I'm also one of the glaucoma patients, and you were saying that glaucoma is hereditary. So I want to ask whether it's possible as when you give birth, you're going to also have this.
I see. Okay. I think they heard you very well. Tina, thank you very much for calling. They would respond to your call. So we have somebody who drinks chilled water and then one of the eye, Kasim. And then Rashid is talking about the fact that in his family, the grandmother and almost everybody in the family has a problem with the eye. And so he wants to know. And then Tina is talking about the fact that glaucoma. Okay.
She's actually a glaucoma.
A glaucoma patient. Hello, good evening.
My name is Reza. I'm calling from.
You're calling from?
Good evening.
Good evening. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is from Kaswa.
Okay, let's hear you.
Please,
can
the family
come again?
Please, can eye problem be hereditary in the family?
Can eye problem be hereditary in the family? All right, thank you very much, and continue watching Ocean One television, okay? We would bring you the response very soon. Collins and Josephine are still here, my future professionals. Very soon I'll set up a big hospital and they will be doing their own thing. Hello, good evening.
Please, I didn't finish with my questions. I'm Tina.
Oh, sorry, Tina, go ahead.
Yeah, and I want to ask, what are some of the things for the glaucoma patient to do to prevent blindness?
Okay, thank you very much, Tina. Is that all? Okay, I think Tina is done this time round. She wants to know what she has to do as a glaucoma patient so that the condition doesn't get worse. Take note of that. And then there is an issue about drivers. I'll be coming to that. Hello, good evening.
Yes, please, my last question.
Tina, you've hijacked the line. Let's hear you.
Yes, I've been prescribed a drug, and the drug is there is a special test for right eyes. But
did you get the drug? Tina, what is the name of the drug? What's the drug?
Cool eyes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
And you want to know?
I put the drug on my eye, I experience headache.
Okay.
What causes that?
Okay. Tina, I think I have to come and carry you to the center so they can do you a full-blown examination. Anyway, that's just by the way. 0543 291 074. Tina, thank you very much for your question. I would give them the opportunity to respond to every concern the callers are raising here. But then we want to appeal to those who can sponsor some of this outreach. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Kwame. I'm calling from Mina.
Kwame, let's hear you.
Yeah, I really enjoy the program this evening. And I want you to ask your resource persons for me whether a particular light bulb in our various rooms can affect our eye.
Wow.
That is one. And then the next question is, those eye drops that we have been using, does it also have side effects as far as our eye is concerned?
I didn't get the second one. Eye drops, eh?
Yeah,
Okay.
eye drops that you've been using, does it have a side effect
All right.
on our eye?
Thank you very much. You raised very relevant issues here. The light bulb, some of them, I tell you, you look at it and you have to go blind for about 30 minutes before you come back to your normal, especially the ones from San Crawford, Titi and Ukrum. Hello, good evening.
This is Rashid.
Let's hear you.
My question is that, as you were saying, glaucoma is hereditary. To those of us who are coming and the children we are going to have, is there any intervention that we could have for the kids so that we can minimize the effect as they grow and things
All right.
for the children?
Okay. Please take note of these questions. Thank you very much, Rashid. I think they're going to respond to that one as well. He wants to know whether, as glaucoma patient, hereditary, of course, what they can do to minimize the impact it could have on their children. 0543 291 074. And my producers this evening, Adelaide Asempa, she is now going to be taking Alawa. I'll be taking half of that. And of course, Portia Ifia Mensah, she is still in school, level 400, School of Communications, UCC. And of course, the big man himself, the captain. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Your name and where you calling from?
Nana calling from Elmina.
Nana, let's hear you.
This is a contribution.
Okay.
I want to tell the people, when you are putting eye drop in the eye, you don't put it inside the eyes. You put it under the eye. So when you blink the eye will stick the drug itself.
Really?
Putting it into the eyes can put the person to blindness.
I see. Nana, who told you this one, Nana?
No, I'm a nurse and I know that eye drops are not put directly into the eyes.
Really?
They are putting under the eyes and you allow the eyes to take it itself. When you put it directly into the eyes, it will go blind.
Nana,
She's right.
Sir.
you shocked me. I didn't know this. Thank you for teaching me.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Continue watching this program, okay?
All right, sir.
Thank you. God bless you. You see, that is how we will. I never knew this seriously. So, I think the demonstration is on the TV. For those of you watching on TV, according to Nana, you put it down there, and then the lower eyelid, you blink, and then it will pick it up. Wow. Okay, we are learning. 0543 291 074. 0543 291 074. I'm particularly interested, especially those politicians who would come with health screening among Crawford. Please consider eye care as part of these things. And I think optometry department are ready. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Your name and where you calling, sir?
I'm Thomas and I'm calling from BCC.
Thomas, let's hear you.
I'm one of the glaucoma patients. Yeah, and I've been taking some drugs, epitimol, some eye drop called epitimol. But when I put it in my eye, it really pains me a lot. So I wanted to ask why I feel the pains when I put it on my eye.
I see. Did you hear the lady who said you don't put it directly into the eye? Is that the way you've been applying it?
Yeah, that is how I do it because I never knew that you have to put it under the eye.
I see. All right. So thank you very much. They will respond to your issue, okay? Thank you very much, my brother. But for those of you who have particular conditions, I think that you should be looking for, before we close, they'll be showing us exactly where they are located at the UCC, the department. So those of you who would want to access it can go there. It's very important. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Francis. I'm calling from Elmina.
Francis, let's hear you.
Yeah, I think UCC is doing very well because I'm a professional teacher.
Okay.
I never knew I had an eye problem until I went to UCC for further studies. Now, during the process, you have to go through eye screening, and it was there that I was diagnosed that I have an eye problem. So ever since I went to UCC, I put on spectacles now. But then initially, when I started wearing the spectacles, I could see very well. But I've been wearing it ever since 2012. For now, though I'm able to use it, but sometimes when I'm reading with the same spectacles, I can't see very well. I don't know whether I'm supposed to maybe upgrade the spectacles or change it or what. So I would like to know from your panelists if there's something should be done.
How long have you been using this particular spectacle?
Since 2012.
Since 2012?
Yes.
Okay.
It's bifocal. It's bifocal.
Bifocal.
Yeah, both reading and for maybe, I think it protects my eye from the sun rays.
Okay, all right. They would respond to that issue. Thank you very much for sharing this experience with us. 0543 291 074 is the number to call this evening. We're talking about eye care in Africa, and I have in the studio not those who are chopping the big money, a young man and a young woman who has spent almost 6 years at the University of Cape Coast. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good evening.
Can you turn down the volume of your TV set and listen to me on the phone?
Okay.
All right. Now you are clear. Let's go. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Quentin. I'm calling from Teshi.
You're calling from?
Teshi.
Teshi in Accra. Okay, let's hear you.
And please, I'm suffering from redness, pigmentosa. I wanted to know your view on it.
Hey, now you want to slaughter me with these things, so my brother. All right, thank you very much. I think they understand the concept better. God bless you. Continue enjoying Ocean One Television in Teshi. 0543 291 074. 0543-291-074. They said the eye is the light of the body. And so it is very important. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Laura.
Your name and where are you calling from? Okasafre Lashibi, Yenti of
Menino, like Mohammed Punch you. Meshadia, Name
Pressure was so, yo.
Meshadia, me Benishadia for my fa.
I see. Okay. Bomodi alternative no ho omobe yi wanu sisi awai. Yes, yeah, a fan Vivian for you now, Lashibi. 0543-291-074 is the number to call. This is Global Dialogue, and tonight we are observing our own World Sight Day, looking at eye care in Africa and what the situation is today and what we have to do about it. I'm speaking to students and the issues they are bringing out tonight. I'm so much amazed, and I think that you and I have to do this advocacy so that government would make it a priority. Maybe let me come to some of the issues raised so that you can attempt. Okay. Ice water, one eye. Kasim's question I remember very well.
Yeah, I was thinking normally for the cold, let me use cold water for instance. When you have any injury and you see the place like red, maybe trauma or someone slapped you. Okay. You see they normally apply, or even
ice block.
Yes, they apply.
Speak out a bit so that we can hear.
The main motive behind that is to constrict the blood vessels. Okay. Already when it happened like that, inflammation has taken place. Okay. So the blood vessels are dilated, which is giving the reddish appearance, and it comes with pain. So normally we apply the cold compress to make the blood vessels constrict. So with his, I was thinking the more he takes in the chilled water, the more the vessels constrict.
I see. And that could lead to bigger problems.
Yes.
So the best thing would be to avoid taking
most often, even research suggests we shouldn't even be taking cold water. During the day in hot temperatures, that's when the body is still so hot that you can take, that will be better. Okay. But for his instance, I would suggest he should stop taking it.
Kasim Sawati. All right. The next one.
Glaucoma family is since
Rashid.
It's hereditary. We advise. Sometimes you give birth and you'll be amazed none of your children
would have it.
You realize that your children's children
may have it. Okay, so is there anything that you can do consciously to minimize the effect, as he was asking?
We advise that with your case, you bring them to the eye clinic so that we really screen them to see whether they are at risk.
Whether they are at risk for developing. So in the course of conception, nothing can be done.
No.
Unless the child is born.
Yes.
So regular checkup.
That would be
what we recommend. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move to the next one. Rashid, I believe that your question has been answered.
So, okay. The next one was Tina. She said she was a glaucoma patient already. And then things she has to do to prevent. And I think we've already
mentioned that. And she mentioned the medicine.
And then she's using Cool Eyes.
Okay, Cool Eyes.
The reason why she's either reacting. Cool Eyes itself has its own side effects. Some get irritation. Some will complain redness. So it's either she has to change the drug. We individually react to drugs.
Okay, so Tina, the next time you go to the facility, talk to your optometrist as to the experience you are having. Other than that, go to UCC, and I believe that the ladies here, the lady and the gentleman, should be able to help you. Yeah. Let's move on.
Okay, so one also said eye problem is a problem in the family. So I think we've already
we've answered that.
Most of the eye drops have side effects.
Okay.
And the person was complaining that we instilling on the eye, is it advisable to continue since it has side effects? That was the question I think he gave. And the light bulbs we use.
The light bulbs.
In fact, I'm about undertaking a research in this.
You are about to do a research in that.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Seriously, I just began recently.
Okay.
And then I wanted to, like this white light.
Yes.
I would regulate the intensity of light. So at various lax, the metric unit is lax.
Okay.
At different lax intensity, I would measure and see which one is good. So I'll use red light, green light, blue light, yellow light to see if under each illumination with a different intensity of light, the performance of the person, how the reading rate and the reading speed.
I see. But then would you suggest that those who import these light bulbs into the country, it should be subjected to some kind of analysis?
Yes, it's because
to know the effect that it can have on the human eye.
I would say because research hasn't gone far in this aspect, so we just import anything without checking these things, because we think the whites have already done that. But we should also bear in mind that the air condition and their systems over there was quite different.
And some of this is they are manufacturing for Africa.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see the way lack of research is killing us in Africa.
That's why they are dumping all the waste.
Lack of research.
So it could
we
be
need
that
the
this
research.
It's not even good for us. But we've not actually undergone series of research to find out with the intensity. We should have come to measure, is it good for us to use this, or we should increase it, or is it better?
All right, so let's look at the other issues.
And Thomas was talking about drug upon installation of epitemolol.
Yeah.
And
so what's your opinion on that?
Yes, I think the ophthalmic nurse earlier said, one of the nurses earlier said, probably he's installing it directly on the cornea. Normally you have to install it
down
in the inferior portion, or he has to go and they change a drug for him.
Okay, so
this is two options.
Thomas, you should talk to your medical doctor, and of course, as they said, I think we saw the picture on the screen a couple of minutes ago. Let's go.
And man was saying I didn't write in it, but he said he came to UCC when he came to do his master's.
Yes.
Before he realized he had an eye problem, he didn't know, and he's been using a spectacle for about
since 2012.
That is 6 years.
6 years now.
He has to change it.
Yes, at least in a maximum of 2 to 3 years, you have to change the spectacle.
Okay.
Because we believe the eyes are growing. As you are growing, definitely the curvature is changing. So the light rays bending into the retina also change. So the impulse is being sent to the brain. If it is not receiving the accuracy of the light intensity, definitely he would complain of blurred vision because the brain is not receiving the appropriate images.
I see. So teacher, you heard that you have to go there immediately and change your
and he's
spectacle.
saying the reading. He's aging, so probably presbyopia has set him. That is why he's complaining of the reading.
Okay.
So that one is a natural thing, we can't do anything. The only spectacle can correct it.
Okay.
And the other guy who talked about retinitis pigmentosa.
Yes.
Is a degeneration of the photoreceptors on the retina. On the retina, there are photoreceptors, the cones and the rods.
If you can bring back the picture on the screen, we'll be very happy. Let's go. Go ahead.
The cones and the rod. And the cones are for the daytime, how colorful we see things during the day. And the evening is the rod. We see the black and white then.
Okay, so those who are watching on
on
TV,
the retina, for him, his rod, the one he has to see in the night, it is degenerated.
I see.
So in the night he cannot see well, but in the day he's fine. So the only thing we can recommend is low vision aids.
Vision aids, okay.
Rehabilitation process.
I see.
We will prescribe low vision aids that would magnify and make his vision better.
That is possible here in Ghana.
Yes, we have some of the aids in our department.
Okay.
So he's really interested. Such people, we can't improve their vision than to give these aids.
Okay.
Because it is something related to nerves.
I see.
And we can't repair them, we can't improvise a new one.
I see.
That's the only option.
That's the Teshi. Then we have Lashibi.
And
my sister from Lashibi.
The difficult seeing at far. Difficult, obviously, myopia. Difficult seeing at far. And the watery eyes, she didn't really, she didn't really say.
Could be due to so many things.
A lot of things. Yeah. So she just said watery.
That's why I was trying to.
It can be a lot of things. And the normal circumstance, there's this hope here that the water should drain through. Sometimes it can be blocked. It can be a lot of factors. So for her, unless we prove further, you can't just say watch it anymore.
Okay.
Like that.
So my sister
I
from
would
Lashibi,
recommend
Bomodia
she
say
would
obeko
go
a year health center baby I share anywhere now on which me ashama. Why? That's it. I was talking about drivers.
Yeah.
We go for license. And I know eye test is part of these things, but people are also saying that most of the accidents we see on the roads was a result of blurred vision. What role do you people play?
Okay, we actually, when they come to our center, we actually take them through a thorough screening.
Okay.
And through the process, we identify some of these debilitating eye conditions.
Okay.
And then we refer them back to DVLA.
Okay.
But then the issue is most of them pay their way through. They pay money, as in bribe.
Okay.
Yeah, so that the doctor will give them a nice report for it to be sent to DVLA. So that's actually where the problem is coming from.
Have you written one before?
No.
Oh, no. I'm not ready to do one too.
So you realize that this thing we are talking about is affecting all of us.
Yes.
If somebody is a driver on the road and cannot see very well, I saw one, and then I could see that this is a serious problem with the eye. A car was parked, the person didn't see it.
Yeah.
The car was parked at the shoulders of the road. It was coming this way, and instead of going this way, he went through the bush. He went to some point before he realized that no, I'm going through the bush in the night. And you realize that she has a problem.
Probably he might have gone to the eye doctor, being diagnosed of a condition, and then he paid with his way through. Yeah.
So the role of the optometrist and the ophthalmologist is very crucial in any civilized society.
Yeah.
Very soon we'll come back to those taking the bribes and giving the reports, making the road dangerous for all of us. But recently I saw a picture. His Excellency, the former president, was going through and undergoing an eye screening, and somebody wrote there, I see corruption in your eyes.
Yeah, I saw that picture.
You saw that picture. So it tells you that our big men go through this screening most of the time, and they know the essence of this care, but they would not prioritize it. But you and I have got to speak so that the policy maker would wake up from their slumber. We are about closing. I want to take your final submission, any comment before we sign off. Josephine.
I think the eye is a window to the soul, the body. Without the eyes, you can't see the beauty internally and externally, and you can't be productive enough. So I would suggest that at least you give prior attention to your eyes by going for regular checkups.
I see. Thank you. But there is a last question. Is it that sleeping with lights on has any side effect? For me, I don't sleep with lights on anyway. Does it have any side effect? Maybe you have to check on that for us subsequently.
On the light, okay.
The lights I read, research suggests that those who use the blue light or our phone, it contains this kind of blue light.
Yeah.
And then it stimulates the melatonin. We have something in the brain of melatonin that induces sleep. It would shut it down. So in the night like that, sometimes people wouldn't be able to sleep or have a good sleeping because you've shut that hormone responsible for such activity. So when you're sleeping or when your light is off and looking at your phone, you can't really sleep. So I think it's not good. I suggest it's not good.
All right. Collins, finally.
Okay, eye care is very important for the development of every nation. So I highly recommend Ghanaians should really wake up from their slumber. And those who have really ignored eye care, assessing eye care for far too long, they should come back. They should come back to a realization that they are.
So I should also come back.
It's really vital because productivity depends a lot on vision, good vision. So we should spend a lot of resources in really developing eye care in Ghana.
I see. Thank you very much. This has been an exciting journey to tonight. We've been looking at eye care in Africa, and we're doing this discussion on the hills of the just ended celebration of World Sight Day, which occurs every second Thursday in the month of October. And of course, we've touched on a lot of issues. I know some of you would have loved to ask questions, but for time. And so if you have any condition that we were unable to touch on, the next thing you can do is to visit an eye care facility where you can be well taken care of. You heard that the department also provide such services. They also do this outreach programs to help those of us who could not access their facility on campus. I'm also appealing to various philanthropists, politicians, and whoever, that if you can just get in the department and support them, they can expand these outreach programs to cover a lot more. Our parents, our grandparents sacrifice to pay our school fees, get education, so that in the end we can help provide them with some of these services. And so if after paying our school fees, they deny themselves to pay our school fees, and then at the end of the day we cannot provide them with these simple services, then of course, as I say all the time, they should go back and collect our school fees, because we have failed them, we have disappointed them. Mr. Politician, Madam Politician, the little you could do to help those who vote for you is to ensure that at least they have the eye to see, so that the next time your picture is on the ballot paper, they would be able to vote for you correctly. Look at the number of spoiled ballots we record every year. I believe some of them can be attributed to some of these conditions we're talking about here. Why would you wait for them to go blind or partially blind and then you come campaigning? I know on election day, some of you politicians will take your big cars, the V8, and go and carry them from their homes to go and vote for you. After that, you leave them. This is the little you can do. Go there to the department, support them so they can expand these outreach programs in our various communities where eye care is inaccessible to the people. We are going to come your way again, and I tell you, the next time there is going to be some demonstrations of some of the things you heard them talk about here. I've been speaking to Josephine Afariwuba and Collins Bio from the Department of Optometry and Vision Science of the University of Cape Coast. My producers this evening, a big thank you to Adelaide Asempa. She is a national service person, former students of the School of Communication Studies, my long-term producer, and of course Portia Efia Mensah. She's also a final year student, School of Communications UCC. My technical producer, the big boss himself, Captain Emmanuel Tevia. Thank you very much for all the support. My name is Deladem Kisei, your host, and from Ahonka FM studios, kudos to Peter Ate and everybody who supported this show. We'll be back again next week with another exciting edition. Bye bye.
The world has become a global village. Happenings in other parts of the world affects Africa directly or indirectly. But how informed are we as Africans living in Africa to understand the seasons and the nuances of globalization?